The College Experience Missouri Tiger College Football Preview on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by MyBookie.ag. You're listening to our 2020 College Football Preview Series where we break down every single Division I college football team. When betting on college football, make sure you go to MyBookie.ag and use the promo code SGP for a deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code SGP. You play, you win, you get paid over at mybookie.ag. Yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the College Experience Missouri Tiger Preview. My name is Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee, in the place to be, and I'm joined by my co-host, former James Madison defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, a wheeling and dealing, Patty C, in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
We're talking Missouri Tiger football, Patty C. Pull up that win total from last year. We're going through. If you're a first time listener, just know that we go through all 130 teams and we do our win totals from a season ago. From multiple seasons ago too. But we're looking back at last year to see if we hit it, see if it was one of our locks. We do an episode where we do 10 locks of college football and their win totals. A season ago,
they weren't locks, but they were on our radar, and we airballed.
Yeah. Well, I thought they had a ton coming back, so I thought I was.
We had higher hopes for Kelly Bryant.
Yeah.
8-5 was the line. We all took the over.
8-4 then, right?
Wait, yeah.
Oh, 8.5. You mean?
Oh yeah, 8.5.
Yeah.
8.5. Sorry, and yeah, only managed 6. So
yeah, and they were out to like a 4-1 start.
5-1 start.
5-1 start. Thought I had it in the bag, but I didn't lock it, so I don't feel that bad.
Losses at Vanderbilt.
How does that happen? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was really probably the undoing. Every other loss on the schedule, I mean, except for a trip to Wyoming,
which I was on.
Yeah, you were.
I was on Wyoming
Very
plus
much
17. Yeah.
Let alone the money line. Very great call there. Troy, they got it. They beat the teams they were supposed to. I mean, beat a decent Ole Miss team. Kept it. They probably should have beaten Tennessee at Columbia. Either way, a 6-6 season for whatever reason didn't get into a bowl. Were they on suspension last year?
They were on suspension last year.
That's right. So Barry Odom kind of got a raw deal. They played a decent enough season.
They always wanted to fire him.
Underperformed. You know who he looks like?
Who? Odom or who?
Odom.
Who's that?
Champ Kind from Anchorman.
I can see that. I can see that.
David Michael Kochner.
So you look at this season. Obviously, Kelly Bryant gone. They bring in the guy who sat out last year, Shawn Robinson, the former TCU quarterback. If you remember when TCU played Ohio State, he was the quarterback there. They also they hit the transfer route, but Eliah Drinkwitz, he was people have been high on him for a while since his time at Boise, and then going to when he headed to NC State with Doran. Now he leaves NC State. NC State struggles. Now sure that could have been more than just Drinkwitz. They did have a lot of players graduate. And then he has a money year at App State where they almost go 12-0 if it wasn't for a monsoon on a Wednesday night game against Georgia Southern.
Yeah. A thorn in their side.
Yeah.
Proverbially speaking.
People really like this hire. I still wish I would have seen more of a sample size as him being a head coach because he took over a fine-tuned machine.
Yeah.
With App State bringing back everybody.
Not driving it into a wall is an accomplishment, and in fact, probably leaving it in at least as good, if not better, condition than when he took over is a good sign. But you're right, a 1-year head coaching stint is hardly a big enough sample size to really be able to judge him at all.
Yeah, I was thinking he'd have to be there 2 or 3 years, but I guess they got their man. They wanted. They seemed like Odom was fighting against them, the university the whole time.
Yeah. And Drinkwitz is probably the rare local fit that any team is looking for. So I mean that seems to be always a focal point with a lot of teams for whatever reason. I mean, there's plenty of talent in that section of the country from a coaching standpoint, but specifically Missouri, Arkansas, that little border of mid-America and the West there's not a ton of like prominent coaches that are like really focused on. I mean, they're either going to the SEC, heart of the South, or they're going to Texas, in that little in-between area, or Oklahoma. And he's from Oklahoma, but he moved to Arkansas when he was 1 year old. And, that being a border state, and then him, I guess Barry Odom was a Missouri guy too. Yeah. So you can't get more. They really must have had something against Odom.
I'm telling you, they did. It seemed like it.
He didn't have like the pop to keep up from a recruiting standpoint. There wasn't enough of like a flash with Odom. I don't know that Drinkwitz is any more flashy than Odom was.
Offensive mind, maybe, because their best success was with Pinkel. Pinkel was offensive guy.
Yeah. It's certainly the flashier of the two mindsets. So,
but you look at this team. I like Robinson addition. Should be good. I remember when he sat out a year, so I was thinking, wow, they're good for quarterback for a while now. They even bring in Virginia Tech's top wideout, Damon Hazelton. I'm assuming he's going to be their number one target. Had 8 touchdowns a year ago, 17 yards per catch. Was surprised he left Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Part of the mass exodus that our guy Fuente had experienced there.
They had 3 offensive linemen drafted, so O-line is going to be a little bit of a rebuild led by their best tackle, Larry Broom.
For a team that didn't perform exceptionally well, to have 3 offensive linemen drafted, pretty insane.
Yeah.
That does suggest that maybe the coaching was a bit of an issue there.
Offensively, though, like I said, I mean, if Hazelton can pan out, I'm sure they lost the tight end, but they have 2 good running backs in Larry Roundtree and Tyler Beatty. So potentially with Hazelton and then Shawn Robinson, who's a mobile quarterback who could also run, I think they could be in decent. Now, obviously, the big question mark is the offensive line.
Yeah.
Defensively, this team was decent last year. I feel like they weren't as horrible as
like not great at generating turnovers.
That was the glaring weakness, but
tough defense. That's what you'd expect from a linebacker. Type driven defense.
Looking at the season ahead, though, I mean, the safety play looks good with Bledsoe and Gillespie. D line should be in decent shape with Turner and Whiteside, and they got the stud linebacker Nick Bolton.
Bolton was the leading tackler last year?
Yeah,
racking them up, 107. That guy's a machine. So yeah, I believe they said they're returning all of their linebacking talent. One of their backers went down early in the season, so for the second half of the season, basically their entire linebacking core back.
I mean, really, if they could just get a pass rush, because they were last in the SEC in sacks, but the D line returning some key players, so you got to think they're going to get better there.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope so. Playing the SEC East, it shouldn't be impossible to get to the quarterback. I mean, I'm not taking a shot on any SEC East lines, but those teams aren't. It's not the SEC West, in other words, which we want to talk about. Why the heck are they in the?
They should be in the SEC West. I don't understand how they're in. I mean, they should be in the Big 12, but I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
They'll never be a fit in the SEC. They'll never feel like they're at home, and so they start playing their border state rivals on a regular basis. If they have to travel across halfway across the country to play the teams in their conference, not a fit.
It's retarded. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But okay, so you look at that, you think, okay, I think this, if Drinkwitz pans out, this team might be in decent shape. If Robinson, really the O-line, I think the season goes as the O-line goes.
Yeah. You're confident that Robinson will have a pretty decent year?
No, I'm not, because, well, they do. They're bringing in TCU's OC, so he has experience with that OC.
That's true. That should help speed up the learning curve quite a bit.
So I feel better about that now.
Yeah.
At first I was like, well, I don't know how they'll be with but now that I think like, oh, he's got,
especially with Drinkwitz as an offensive mind.
So yeah, I mean, I think they could be really the O-line. The O-line is everything to me. I think Robinson's going to be a good quarterback. I think he's going to be better than Kelly Bryant was.
Yeah,
Kelly Bryant, like to me, really struggled.
Probably more talent than Robinson.
Definitely, but struggled, man. I watched from the Missouri games I watched.
Yeah,
was not very impressed.
Yeah.
So, now we're gonna go game by game. On previous episodes, we've gone through the win total, the odds to win the SEC, or your division. So like SEC East, and then the conference and national championship. But right now, with everything in limbo with COVID, we're just gonna go game by game, break it down in two different areas: where the out of conference and then the conference schedule, and obviously they might add some conference games and not even play the out of conference, but we will get there. We'll talk both of those things, win total and essentially what will be the biggest game on the schedule for the Missouri Tigers on the College Experience right after a word from our sponsors. We're back on the College Experience talking Missouri Tiger football, Patty C. Hold that, Tiger. Wait, no, you can't do that here, right?
Well, we Tigers. So I don't know. I think only one person can hold them Tigers.
I think that's Coach O.
That's right. Just to the south.
Okay, let's look at out of conference. Even though I know these are not in sequence, because I really fear that we're not going to have these out of conference games.
But we're going to bring it to you anyway, folks.
Central Arkansas against Missouri, week 1.
Central Arkansas finished 9-4 last year.
Not a bad FCS. Not a bad FCS.
2018 they were 6-5. 2017 they were 10-2. So
I'm saying,
yeah, not necessarily.
I like it. I feel like this game should. I mean, this one I don't have a problem with this much. All I ask for is a decent FCS if they're going to play one.
Yeah, make it a small threat that the game could be close.
Yeah, and I got Missouri winning this. Drinkwitz pulls it off, gets the dub.
Yeah, home field coming out the gates.
Okay, now skip down this next one.
Oh,
potential.
Derek Mason obviously coaching for his.
No. We're going out of conference first. First.
Ooh, well, I know that this is a favorite of yours.
Eastern Michigan, Chris Creighton. Trust me,
two of the better coaches in.
He needs. I mean, look. I hope he stays at Eastern Michigan.
Better young coaches, I should say.
Definitely. I hope he stays at Eastern Michigan because I love seeing them relevant because they were awful. Maybe the worst FCS or FBS school over the past 40 years.
He's got him bowling.
He's beaten a Power 5 3 straight years. He had a close call, almost took down Kentucky in Lexington a few years back. This is another shot where, Missouri bringing in a new scheme, no spring ball.
Yeah.
Could they be vulnerable?
Eastern Michigan Eagles coming to Columbia. Yeah, I mean, if he's been doing it on an annual basis, if this game is played, don't fall asleep.
Oh, I would love to see this. I would love to see Chris Creighton come in and pull the upset.
That would be great.
I know the Missouri Tiger fans hate me, but I like Eastern Michigan. I don't have anything against Missouri, really.
Of course not.
I just like Eastern Michigan. Yeah.
They play on a gray field. When you watch them play, it looks like you're watching a black and white 1940s fucking movie. You can't dislike that team.
Okay, gun to your head. Missouri 30, Eastern Michigan 27.
Yeah.
Then they're supposed to play at BYU on Saturday, October 10th. That's a loss.
Probably lose that. Yeah. Sitake's got that.
I think that's the best team they've had in a while. Dude, they really do it out of conference.
BYU?
Because then they host Louisiana, who won 11 games last year on Saturday, November 21st.
Oh, Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an impressive. That's the way it's supposed to look.
Yeah. A good FCS. If you're going to play an FCS, play a good FCS.
Yeah.
Take Eastern Michigan, who made a bowl. Take BYU.
It would be better if you only had 3 non-conference games.
Of course. That's the way it should be.
But if you're going to play 4, then it's good that you have at least 2. I mean, really, you should have 2 Power 5s. If you're only going to play 8 conference games, then you should have 2 Power 5 non-conference.
So it's still not that great of a, but I'm saying at least there's no
at least they're decent. Yeah.
At least they're not putting Akron on the
no
schedule.
Straight cupcakes.
You got them beating Louisiana? Could be a sneaky game though. They gave Mississippi State a game last year.
I don't know that I have them beating Louisiana.
Billy Napier doing a great job there.
I mean, he was in play for a lot of.
The thing would be is it's Saturday, November
Good
21st.
gigs.
That
Yeah.
gives Drinkwitz a long time to
get it figured out.
Yeah.
Coming off of a road game at Florida, maybe they're beat up. Maybe they pull a major upset and there's letdown city. Couple things that could play against them, but figuring they get their butt whipped and Drinkwitz is having to motivate them and get in their ass, then they'll probably come and get that W.
So 3-1 out of conference if they play these games, but I think there's a lot. They actually, if you let the thing go wrong, they could go 1-3 in those things.
Yeah,
2-2, maybe
potentially. I think 2-2, 3-1 are the safe bets, but I would say 3-1 if I had to, on an individual basis, pick each of those games.
I mean, they lost to Wyoming last year.
That's true.
That's a mid-major.
That's true. And Odom had several years to get the program rolling in his direction.
Say a few years back they lost to Middle Tennessee as well. So there's some vulnerability there. Okay.
Odom 7-6, 8-5, 6-6. Those are your last 3 years.
Never had a losing season.
Well, yeah, it was 4-8 his first year there, but then 3 straight at least 500 seasons, 2 of them being winning seasons. What do you want, Missouri?
They want those Gary Pinkel years where they were owning the SEC East.
Yeah, well, guess what? Georgia's back, Florida's back. So get your head out of your ass.
There you go. Okay, let's go game by game in the SEC conference. Like only SEC games.
Yeah.
First game, this is a good opportunity for Drinkwitz.
Yeah.
If the season starts with Vanderbilt.
Can't ask for much better.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a conference-only schedule.
I mean, this could be a magical schedule for them because I even think week 2 is winnable.
It is. It's certainly winnable. I don't know.
At South Carolina?
That's a tough one. I think Muschamp's coach for his job. I think he's a better coach than 4-8.
Yeah, but 4-8 is still 4-8.
It's true. It's true. Let me see. Let me take a quick look at South Carolina last year. That 4-8. It did include some bad losses, including that 34-14 clunker at Missouri. They're going to Columbia this year.
No. This year's
they're
at South Carolina.
To
Columbia, South Carolina.
Both
right?
of them. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to say South Carolina. I don't know. That's tough.
This is like a 50-50 game. I might give 51% to South Carolina, 49% to Missouri, but
yeah, I think Muschamp will be better. And I think South Carolina gets that done, but you're right. I wouldn't. It's zero surprise whatsoever. If
another one that I wouldn't be surprised at all if Missouri was able to win is at Tennessee.
Yeah,
I mean, these would potentially be back-to-back away game. Or no, they're probably bringing a home game there. I don't know.
I
how
got
the
them losing
schedule
at Tennessee too, though.
You got to lose to South Carolina and Tennessee.
Yeah,
I think they'll beat one of them.
They might win one of them, but let me before I commit to giving them a win out of one of those two. Let me see a couple more games here.
I hear you. I think they could win one of those. Home to Georgia. Any chance for the upset?
Not really.
I think there's a chance. I mean, Georgia lost to South Carolina.
New coach though.
But if Drinkwitz is as good as what they say, what I've read over the past few years when he was at NC State and stuff, I mean, if that's the case, I'll take him over Muschamp because I have never been wowed by Muschamp as a head coach.
Are you smart? Are you talking about?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like if we're just strictly looking from going back to the Muschamp game.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Smart's better than what I think Drinkwitz will be, especially in year one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right.
I'm saying Muschamp beat Smart last year.
Right.
So why couldn't that happen?
Why couldn't Drinkwitz do it? No, absolutely. I think Georgia has proven that they're capable of getting bitten. But
obviously you're going to take
Georgia. Yeah.
Okay, then they're home to Kentucky. I'm going to give this to Kentucky, even though I think this could be a ball game.
See, this is where I'm going to flip back and give this one to Missouri.
Okay. So we're at the same record then, essentially, right now.
Yep.
Bye week at Mississippi State. We took Mississippi State on this one.
Yeah. Should be a fun one.
That should be a fun one. That would be a close game.
Yep.
Back-to-back away game at Florida.
That's an L.
And then home to Arkansas to end the season. They'll beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
But so in the SEC, we have them with their 8 conference game schedule. I have them going 1, 2, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 3-5, 3-5.
Yeah.
Now, if they add another game, but the problem is that if they add another game, they're probably going to get. Maybe they get Ole
Probably
Miss.
have to add 2 if they're going to get to that 10 game spot. So we'll see if they can improve on that. But yeah, let's see. I mean, they'd be drawing out of the West, which is never fun.
But check us out. If that means if they had their whole schedule and I have them going 3-1 out of conference, they'd be going 6-6 and making a bowl, perhaps.
Not bad for a first year coach.
But that's if they get past Eastern Michigan and Lafayette.
It's tough to kind of get an idea of where Missouri really should be. You know, from a recruiting standpoint, wildly consistent.
Yeah.
Starting in 2016 and moving forward at 43, 43, 43, 37, and 51. So low 40s, which puts them probably in the back half of the SEC, but still going to win most of their non-conference games. I mean, from a talent standpoint, they should be a 7-5 team every year. You know.
Let me ask you this though: what's the big game on the season that will make or break their season? I'm gonna go ahead and say that South Carolina game is the one that sticks out to me as the one. Now you could also say maybe that Kentucky game at home.
South Carolina is a huge one. You're right.
Just because it's early on, I feel like you could really build momentum. You let them win that at South Carolina, maybe they do win at Tennessee.
That's true.
You know,
that's true. And you want to talk about a coach that's going to be bringing the heat. Muschamp is coaching for his job this year. So if they can withstand that assault, then they may be off on a better foot and off to better things for the rest of the year.
Yeah. So circle that South Carolina game as to me the game of the year for the Missouri Tigers. You agree?
I think maybe the home game against Kentucky is.
I agree. Yeah, that's homecoming. That's a big one too.
Yeah.
If I had to pick 2, those would be the 2.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Missouri Tigers 2020 edition. Eliah Drinkwitz. I'm excited to see him play. Hopefully we get a season. Hopefully we can, sit back and watch all these games. Give us all 12 weeks. All right. Do it.
No.
Come on.
Don't be scared of some little, the bad air is called, we call it. It's not a virus. It's just bad air.
All right. Well, look, we are previewing all 130 college football teams. If you could do us the favor of sharing this, if you're a Missouri grad or a Missouri fan, throw this thing up on your Facebook, throw it in a Reddit, throw it in a chat forum that you subscribe to, whatever it may be, Twitter. All right. Do something. Help us out. All right. Now, if you could subscribe to the College Experience. Look, we are our own thing. We are on every platform. You can listen to a podcast. Type in the College Experience, subscribe, and if you're really swift, go over to iTunes, leave us a nice comment. We'd appreciate it. That's how we get more, sponsors. So we'd appreciate that. He's Patty C. You can find him on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm Colby Dant. You can find me on Twitter at TheColbyD. We are still affiliated with the Sports Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Check out our most recent interview with Jerry Glanville. Great episode. And if you want to follow the Sports Gambling Podcast Network on Twitter, it's at the SGP Network. Guys, this is the College Experience, Missouri Tiger style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out.